This is what I'm going to be looking for. First off, let me ask you guys, what do you think you're going to be looking for more towards on the offensive side tonight? What's what are you looking for tonight when it comes to this Eagle team against the Jets tonight? Game Day, National Football Show. It's your boy Big Sills. Thanks for coming aboard. And we have been waiting for this week for a long time. Really, no more speculation. It's more about let's go out and see what this football team can do. Let's get out and see what some of these players are going to give the Eagles this year in the 2022 season. That's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be kind of treating this like a pregame show, because tonight I'm going to be looking for some certain things tonight, and I'm going to get to those things here in a minute. By the way, bottom of the hour, legendary broadcaster and former Philadelphia Eagle, we will have Mike Golick on. That'll be at the bottom of the hour. Mike will give us his spin on what he thinks with this Philadelphia Eagle team, and we will talk with him. That'll be at the bottom of the hour. We'll take all your thoughts. Please do me a favor. Please hit the like button. Look, I'm going to flat out tell you, this is what I'm going to be looking for tonight in the game tonight. Not so much looking at scoreboard. I don't really look at scoreboard when it comes to exhibition football. Okay? Dynasty night. Is that what we're going to call this? Dynasty night? Jesus criminy, man. I can't tell you how that interview all week long has just absolutely blown up. And everybody is saying that Michael Irvin had been saying that a couple other times before he said it right here on the National Football Show, guys. Mike believes that this Eagle team is going to do some damage this year in the NFC. And the way the NFC is lining up right now, I really do think so too. I've been telling you that for months. You know, we've been one of the very first people out of the gate that thinks that this football team could do some things this year. And I totally believe that they're going to be in a position to really go out and do some stuff. I can't wait to see this football team in action with some live competition. It's great that we're getting a chance to see the ones get out there and get a couple series. Look, again, a couple series in an offense like the Eagles, that could be an entire quarter. Okay? That could be an entire quarter. Okay? It can be. It can be an entire quarter. I appreciate. Hey, Michael, those guys do a great job all up and down the lineup. 365 Sports Take, we really appreciate it. I can't wait for our legendary postgame show to get going with Mike Missinelli and Seth and with D Gunn. I can't wait to see how that thing ends up working out, man. I can't wait to listen to those guys. And once again, I really appreciate you guys coming in here. All right. Look, I got a list of players that I'm going to be looking at right out of the gate here, but this is where we're going to start here for tonight's game. New York Jets, obviously, the only home game that the Eagles have in the exhibition season. This is what I'm going to be looking for. First off, let me ask you guys, what do you think you're going to be looking for more towards on the offensive side tonight? What are you looking for tonight when it comes to this Eagle team against the Jets tonight? Look, I think the Jets are improved. I think Joe Douglas has done a nice job by adding some components to the football team, both offensively and defensively. They've got to be better on defense than they were a year ago. That's Robert Saley's, in my opinion, that's supposed to be his forte. They were not very good last year on defense. So what are you looking for tonight? Let's do it first offensively. What are you looking for? A.J. Brown, big plays. What are you looking for? Let's do offensively first. Let's start there with the offense. Young players mainly. So are you looking at the depth? Let me add in now and let me fill in the blank here. I'm going to be looking how Steichen, Jalen, Minshew, and the offense tries to move the chains. What's going to be the sequence of plays on how they're going to try to accomplish moving the sticks this year? That's going to be different from what they did a year ago. We all know this. The Eagles can win football games with last year's approach, right? We're going to be looking at last year's approach, and we know that they can win ball games with that approach, correct? We know this. How are you going to add AJ? How are you going to get these guys open that you spent so much assets on? Got a first rounder on Y, and you got $100 million at Z. What's Dallas Goedert's role? What are going to be the back's role in the passing game? I'm going to be looking more so than this at the passing game than the run game today. When I see them playing tonight, how are you going to be adding? Now, it's exhibition football, so you got to remember something. You don't really kind of want to show your hand too much. You want to keep it close to your vest a little bit because, again, you don't want the Lions to be able to game plan you and have multiple tape on you when it comes to the exhibition season. But what you want to see is a philosophy. Flex says this. I was thinking last night that this team starting to look like the Colts with Peyton, great O-line, two, I would say, really good wide receivers, a top-flight tight end, and a solid game. Again, Peyton Manning and Jalen Hurts, that's a pretty big reach. But I get where you're saying, okay? Actually, I would say that this O-line might be better than that O-line. And for the record, that Jeff Saturday offensive line that Peyton had, I mean, what's his name? Tyreek Glenn, the guy who was the offensive tackle, Saturday, all those guys up and down the line of scrimmage. Those guys were together for like a decade, along with Tom Moore, the offensive coordinator. They were together for a long time. They built a lot of continuity up. Plus, you had Dallas Clark, the tight end. I mean, you had Edgerrin James, Marshall Faulk as running backs back there too. I mean, that was a star-studded offense, man. I'm moving the sticks. That offense is 10 times better, in my opinion, because you got Hall of Famers all over the place at the skill positions. Hall of Famer Edgerrin James, Hall of Famer Marshall Faulk, Hall of Famer Marvin Harrison, Hall of Famer soon-to-be Reggie Wayne, Hall of Fame, and I don't think so much Hall of Famer when it comes to Dallas Clark, but he was a hell of a player, and you got Hall of Famer Peyton Manning. That's a lot to say about this young Eagle offense to put them in that category. I say more than this, Flex. I got you, Flex. I know where you're going, Flex. I'm not holding your feet to the fire that you're comparing Jalen Hurts to Peyton Manning. I understand what you're saying here. I think it looks more like the Troy Aikman offense. Dominant running attack, effective on third down. You got a big physical wide receiver in A.J. Brown like Michael Irvin. I see more of that than I see the offense in Indianapolis with Peyton Manning. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but that Dallas Cowboy offense with the triplets, that was a physical approach to winning football games. And to me, what I don't want to have happen, okay? I don't want to have this happen. I don't want to see the Eagles get away from that physical approach and that dominant approach. Okay? I don't want to see them get away from that. I want that approach where you're still going to try to punch people in the face. But tonight I want to see, I'm going to get into individual players that I want to see tonight here in a second. But as a philosophical approach to the game tonight, how are you going to move the sticks this time compared to a year ago? You can't be one-dimensional like you were last year. You just can't be. You're not going to beat the elite teams. Last year's approach will not win the significant games like Minnesota, the Cowboys, being in that Packer game. You're not going to beat those teams if you don't add a different approach compared to what you did last year. Make sense? Okay? You don't want it to be, well, this is what we're only going to do. I was watching the game last night between the Patriots and the Giants, and I loved watching all the young guys getting an opportunity to play last night. And you started to see a little bit of the philosophical ways that Belichick was going to try to move the sticks this year. And to me, that's what I watch for when it comes to exhibition football, okay? That's kind of what I look at. Jalen Hurts, 1-for-11 against playoff teams. Well, that's got to improve. And remember something easy. Going into this year, That's got to be one of the things that drastically changes. Okay? That's what people say about Lamar Jackson, too. Hey, you got to beat these big teams. You got to beat these big quarterbacks. Look, guys, how many people think that this Eagle team going into this 2022 season is elite? How many people think that? How many people are looking at this and going, this Eagle team is elite? You're not elite until you beat elite teams. You can't be considered elite until you beat elite teams. Lamar Jackson last year, when he beat Kansas City, I started going like this. That's a significant win. That's a significant win. Look at Dak Prescott. Dude, Dak's got to beat significant teams. He's in that same category as Jalen is right now. Okay? He's in the same category. Flex says you just got to bring back the swagger and physicality. I want to see the defense running to the ball, swarming this season, and the offense should be a top 10. Mike says it's not elite yet, but it's time to prove it. It is time to prove it. Hey, you know what? I'll say this to you about the kid from Tennessee last night. I loved what Mike Vrabel did. He pulled him out of the game and said, I know you can run. In this league, you got to win games throwing the ball, kid. You're not going to win games like you're in college. This is not the college game. You have to win games from the pocket. Don't forget, Mike Golick will join us at the bottom of the hour. Wise guy, I like the Aikman Cowboys comparison. Yeah, because you know what? You don't have Emmitt Smith. But what you do have, you have an O-line that's comparable to that great O-line that Dallas had. Tune, Gogan, Stepnoski, Nate, Eric Williams. Those guys were elite. And you can make the argument that the best part of that Cowboy dynasty was that O-line. How many times have we said the Cowboys O-line was one of the most dominant factors? The two things. What did they have? They had an elite pass rusher in Charles Haley, and they had an elite O-line. The rest of those players fit in. Anybody can look like a superstar when you're knocking people and you're knocking them on the ground the way that Cowboy team knocked people on the ground, right? You can make anybody look elite. And that's kind of what the Eagles have here. Him getting coached like that last night, Willis getting coached like that, having a coach pull you out of a game and telling you, hey, kid, I don't need you to do that. We know you can run. We understand that. But there were two dudes open. You got to hit them guys. In this league, you got to hit them guys. And you know what, easy money? John Robinson, the general manager, Mike Vrabel, the coach. That's why he's the coach of the year. Okay? That's why he's the reigning coach of the year. They do a great job of coaching their players. They do a great job at keeping the attitude and the identity of that football team intact. That's what I love about the Titans. The Titans, when the Eagles play the Titans in week 13, don't think that game's going to be some walkover. They'll be ready to rock with you, man. That team's going to be ready to rock. So offensively tonight for the Eagles, I want to see how their mental approach is going to be and what they're going to try to do in the passing game. I'm not concerned about – I'm like last night. Mike Vrabel's not concerned about Willis's running of the football at quarterback. He wants them to understand you got to win games throwing the ball. That's kind of the same thing in Philly. How are you going to implement more of a passing game with Steichen and with Jalen Hurts tonight? How are you going to put – no Devontae Smith, okay? But what's AJ going to look like in this system? And how are you going to have that balance? Again, like I said, I'll get to the players here in a minute. On defense, what are you looking for tonight? This is kind of my forte. What are you looking for tonight for this Eagle team against the Jets? Defensively, what are you looking for? For me, I want to see how you're going to take personnel groupings, and I want to see situational play calling tonight. I want to see the situational play calling that the defensive coordinator has to show me that he's different from a year ago and that we can underline this. When we talk on Monday, I want us to say this. It was personnel last year. It was clearly personnel. Okay? It was the fact that he didn't really have all the chess pieces on the chessboard. And we can finally put that to bed. I want to know how his mental approach is when it's 3rd and long or 3rd and short, 1st and 2nd down. What's the groupings going to be? Are you going to go to a 4-front, 34, 46? What are you going to look at here? What are you going to play a banjo defense? Are you going to bring blitzes? What are you going to have as a mental approach against this Jets team tonight? Okay? So tonight, when you're watching the game, and I know some of you are going to be looking at it going, well, the starters are going to play just limited tonight. Look at coaching philosophy. I would also circle, watch the special teams. Keep an eyeball on that because that could be a factor this year for this team. You know the worst thing that can happen to the Philadelphia Eagles? You got a 12-5 football team, but you got a 5-12 special teams. Don't let that happen. What you don't want to have happen on your football team is that you got this marvelous collection of guys on defense and offense. And you got a 5-12 scenario where you got a special teams that's one of the worst in the league. That'll cost you 3-4 games, especially in a league where the point differential is only 3 points. So tonight, I want to watch Jonathan Gannon. What's he going to do on 3rd and long? What's he going to do on 1st and 2nd down? How is he going to use certain players when it comes to group settings and personnel groupings? What are you going to do in the secondary? You're going to bring nickel in, or are you going to bring another pass rusher in? What are you going to do that was different from a year ago to utilize all the assets that you have on your football team? That's kind of what I want to see. Okay, I want to see how they're going to fundamentally have an approach towards the game. By the way, don't forget, we will have Mike Golick at the bottom of the hour, legendary broadcaster, former Eagle, years and years and years at ESPN. He'll be with us. That'll be at the bottom of the hour. We're going to ask him not only about the Eagles, but NFL-wise as we go across the board. Steve goes, I want to see Hurts, not over-under throws. You know, I was watching Sports Take today a little bit. Xander, one of the best lines I ever heard. Any analyst that any of us have had, from the morning show to us, one of the best lines I've heard. Do you know what this season has to be in 2022 for the Philadelphia Eagles? Do you know what it has to be? Jalen Hurts not getting carried to the playoffs. Him carrying the Eagles to the playoffs. That is I think, quite frankly, that's what we've all been saying. Jalen Hurts got carried to the playoffs last year. That's a fact. He didn't lead anybody. He did not lead anybody. He was carried to the playoffs. Okay? It's not a rip. Ben Roethlisberger was carried to the Super Bowl with the Steelers. He was carried. Running game, defense, Ben was terrible. Barrett Brooks says it all the time. This year, the second time, Ben, he carried the Steelers to the Super Bowl. Okay? Look at what Astro Av, whatever, says. How was he carried? Because they took the ball out of his hands in the second half of the season. What were you watching? They were 2-5 when they were throwing the ball. He was carried. Even the analysts today on Sports Take said it. He was carried to the playoffs. It's not Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes carrying his team. They were 27th in passing. The rushing offense and the O-line took over, dude. What are you talking about? See, there's a blind witness there. There's a blind witness. Whatever, dude. He can't look, again, what we're looking at tonight is we're looking at a scenario tonight where I want to see approach when it comes to the offense and how they're going to, how they're going to, but he wasn't the Hey, Astro, win a game that matters, okay? And when he got into a game that mattered, you were destroyed. Again, let's see what's different from a year ago. They were one-dimensional a year ago. One-dimensional. You're not going to win in the NFL one-dimensional. This is not the wishbone offense of Oklahoma. Okay? Okay? Our Gravy, appreciate you coming aboard. Thank you so much. Please hit the like button here. All right, I'm going to give you, before we get Mike Golick on here, I'm going to look at some of the players here. I was texting with Barrett back and forth here. Hey, tape weight goes, Hurts had 800 yards and 10 touchdowns. Congratulations. He's a hell of a running back. He's a hell of a running back. Congratulations. Those were great running back stats. How about some quarterback stats? Okay. Here's some of the players tonight I want to look at. I'm going to start it with Cam Jurgens. And Cam Jurgens, this is one of the reasons why I think that you now have Jalen Hurts playing 1 or 2 series because of the injury to Jason Kelce. If I were the Jets and Robert Saleh, I would take a nose. I would line him up right over Cam Jurgens, and I would pound that guy to see if he can get that ball up to the quarterback. One of the fundamental things that a lot of centers struggle with when they make that transition from the college game to the pro game is that these defensive coordinators will put a center in a position where he's got to take on a 350-pound nose guard. Let's see if you can get the ball up. Okay? It's one thing to do it in college. It's another thing to do it in a professional football game. Flex says, absolutely. Thank you very much, Flex. Appreciate it, brother. That's all this SZN. It's about finding out whether Hurts is the guy or not. His passing attempts per game has got to go up. Yeah, if you want to be balanced. It's not a balanced offense yet. It hasn't proven it. You've added pieces. Actually, a piece to last year's football team. You really haven't added anything else. You added A.J. Brown. Okay? How much of an impact is that going to have on Jalen this year in 2022? We will find out. The speculation's over. We're going to find out. I want to see Cam Jurgens because he may have to play in this Lions game. He may have to actually play. We may have to see him depending on – I think that Jason Kelce is going to be ready to rock and roll. Okay? It's about the trenches. Always will be about the trenches. Kevin says, how do you hate on a young man that does everything asked of him? That has nothing to do with playing football in the NFL. Great guys, great, whatever. What does that mean? I don't care about those intangibles right now. Throw the ball, be accurate, be on time, make sure your passes, and you have progression reading. It's not hating. It's that stuff with being a great guy. It's like thanking me for not robbing a bank, guy. Well, he's a great guy and he shows up, he works hard. So what? It's the NFL. Congratulations. You pass the you pass the interview. Congratulations. Now you got to go out and perform. I'm not yanking anything. Dude, Jalen Hurts is getting every opportunity to succeed this year. He should be given that opportunity to succeed. The ownership, the coach, the general manager for 2022. And that's all you can be in charge of right now. They are vested in Jalen Hurts. They've already told Gardner Minshew, you'll never see a starting position unless something catastrophic happens. Gardner Minshew has to be the most miserable guy on the Philadelphia Eagle roster because he knows he has no chance of starting. Pat goes, what kind of play calls do you expect for Hurts? You know what, too? I want to see how they create passing lanes tonight. I want to see how they're going to try to get the ball to AJ. That's what I want to see. I want to see on first and second down, are they going to get away from running the ball, or are they going to be like they did when they finished the season last year, a dominant at the point of attack team, or are they going to start adding something like we were just talking? You got to improve your passing game. Hey, the one loss, it doesn't really matter here. So at least try it. Let's get this going. Try to get some quality repetition going. Okay? How many series are the starters getting? Gravy, I thought I heard between 1 and 2. Okay? Steve says, it sucks that Minshew's a better pass. Yeah, but I look at Gardner Minshew and I already know who he is and what he is. You know what I'm saying? Boy, Tape weight. Man, I really don't want to see RPOs tonight. That's not a pro offense, man. It's a gadget offense. I don't want to see a gadget offense tonight. I want to see an offense that looks like a prototypical offense. And that usually means this, balance. By the way, I don't want it to resemble what I'm watching in Kansas City. I don't want to look at it what they do in Green Bay. I want a customized, tailor-made offense for Jalen Hurts so that Jalen Hurts can be successful in this offense.